Trisha and Dave from Papagallos in Sally Beach.
The biggest thing is it gets you in a room full of people. You get a ton of information, but you also get to see people that are going through what you're going through, even if it's not in the same industry you're in. You see that you're not the only one going through the problems that you have.
Think like you, they work like you, they got the same problems, different industry, but it still applies.
Perfect. Thank you, guys.
Yep.
A customer of ours actually talked to Dave about checking out the Thrivetime crew, help us out with business stuff.
It was very eye-opening. About 12 of the questions I had no answers for, and that kind of scared me. They ask questions you don't think about in day-to-day operations, so it really opened my eyes that we needed help. I think our biggest win is staffing. With the group interviews, that we're always staffed, where before we were always looking for people to fill spots. Now we're looking for spots for the people we have. And just the systems of doing things consistently and being able to pass things off to the new people.
And going back to the staff, we're not held hostage to anybody that actually works a lot for us, and we overuse them because they're a good person, and you kind of end up having an issue and you have to keep them because you got nobody else. We don't have to worry about that anymore. We just do the group interview and get somebody else in.
All right, Thrive Nation, on today's show, I want to give you an encouraging word. These are actual real people, real clients we've worked with. They're not holograms, and they've had real success. And I know we're living in a challenging economy and a challenging world, but I've worked with these guys for years, and they really are diligent doers. And I just wanted to celebrate their success and let you see that it is possible to achieve massive success in this crazy world. Dave and Trisha of Papagallos and Morning Glory, welcome on to the Thrive Time Show. How are you guys?
Hey, good. How are you?
Doing well.
I'm fired up. So, Dave, I got to start with you. How long ago was it when you first heard about us? How many years ago, or what year was that, sir?
2017.
2017. A customer actually mentioned you guys, and we looked into it. And I remember our first call, I had to hide in the storeroom to get a half an hour to talk to you guys.
So you first heard about us 6 years ago. We've been working with you since that time. Trisha, I know that you look at the numbers, and so does Dave. When you think about the growth of Papagallos from that first call to now, and then you started Morning Glory since that time, what kind of growth have you guys seen?
Oh, God, we're at the Papagallo side. It's probably 4 times what it was when we met you guys.
And then Morning Glory was an idea, so it's kind of hard to think about the percentage of growth because it wasn't a thing yet. So, but that business is doing well too, right? Morning Glory.
Yeah, surprisingly good. Sometimes it upsets me how well it's doing so fast, but a lot of the things we're doing, we didn't do with Papagallos because we didn't know, and we got to implement some of the things we learned from you guys with the new place, and it's taken off a lot faster.
Now, your business has a lot of things a lot of variables, and I'm going to kind of march through them, and I'm going to see if you can teach our listeners about this here. So the first thing with Papagallos, the food has always been great. Morning Glory, the food has always been great. If people are in the Satellite Beach area, they need to check out the food. So I've never had, most restaurants I work with, I have to work with them on food quality. I've never had to work with you at all on food quality. However, the one area you guys were not getting reviews from your happy customers. People love the food, but we weren't getting objective reviews, and people read those reviews. Can you talk to us, Dave, about the importance of, I know I harass you about it every week, but can you talk to the listeners out there about the importance of gathering those objective Google reviews and oftentimes video reviews as well?
Oh, absolutely. I didn't think it would be that huge when we started down that road, but every week we get people that come in and go, oh, we drove 40 miles because we read the reviews about the place. And to be honest, if we go out of town, the first thing we do is look at the reviews as well. So, I mean, you don't think it's going to make that big a deal, but it's a game changer for sure.
Now, Trisha, on the websites, we've worked to create the websites for both Morning Glory and Papagallos, and I find a lot of business owners can get stuck infinitely doing small little minutia changes to their websites instead of building a website that ranks in Google. We've worked with you guys on building both websites, and we do have to update the menu pricing from time to time and do some things. But how much of a game changer has it been having websites that actually come up top in Google?
Well, I mean, coming up on top on Google is huge because everybody's using their phones these days to ask where they should go. So for that to just pop up top is, you can't put a number on that for what it does for your income. And the people look and search your website. I mean, Dave was writing blogs and stuff that helps with the SEO and coming up high on that. And we got a catering just from her reading one of the blogs. I mean, how do you put it?
Yeah. It's just been that part of it's been a big eye opener for me, because I just didn't put that much weight on it until we started. We always kind of start with we'll try anything until it doesn't work. So we went in with that with, this full blast, and it just blew my mind how well that worked.
Now, tracking results is a big thing, and I love working with you guys because you're diligent people that show up to work every day. And I don't care how good of a boss you are in the restaurant business. I really don't. No matter how great of a boss you are, you're going to have turnover in the restaurant business, because young people who are waiters and waitresses, they decide to move, they get pregnant, they get another job. There's a lot of variables. And so you're never stopping recruiting. Dave, I can't tell you how many restaurants I've worked with over the years, and I tell them, listen, recruiting is a never-ending process as a restaurant owner. It's like a garden. You have to pull the weeds every week. Can you talk to listeners out there about the importance of you never stopping recruiting? Because again, I could give you all the advice in the world, but if you would not have implemented it, it wouldn't help. Can you talk to the listeners out there about the importance of never stopping recruiting?
Well, it's just from week to week, like you said, you never know. One day you don't have enough shifts, and then the next day you come in and 4 people disappear in the night. You don't even know what happened to them. And by having people lined up to come right in, it smooths over the transition. And it's this never-ending process. And it seems like lately, the new younger groups that come in, the younger kids, they just change jobs every 4 or 5 months just because. When I grew up, you got in a job, you liked it, you stayed. But it's not that way anymore. People change just for the sake of changing. So keeping the recruiting going keeps staff.
Now, this is a big thing. The experience itself is a wow. And I know we worked with you guys on making sure we had an intentional wow moment in terms of the decor, the atmosphere, the music, everything. And again, you guys have great food, but I'd love to get Trisha's thoughts on this. When people go to Morning Glory for the first time, or they walk into Papa Gallo's, and I've had friends of mine, the Johnsons, Jared and Jennifer Johnson, actually came to your restaurant, and their comment was, wow, that's awesome. Can you talk about the importance of being intentional to make an experience that wows there, Trisha?
Well, I mean, that's the people look with their eyes first, so they don't even see the food yet. So if they're looking at your, seating or your walls, and they don't get that kind of wow from it, they're not going to get the wow from the food either, because that comes later. So it's very important, especially ladies with bathrooms and stuff is huge. If you've got a really poorly put together bathroom and the ladies got to go in there and they just don't like it, they're not coming back. Even if your food is amazing, if your bathroom isn't there, it's just a game changer for them.
Now, checklists and processes. You guys have done a great job making checklists for everything. I'm going to pull up these websites here. Again, if you're in Florida, it's worth the drive. papagallos.com, morningglory.eatery.com. It's worth the drive. You got to check it out there, folks. Checklists and processes for everything. Dave, you got to make a menu. You got to have recipes. You got to have checklists. You can go out there and make a great menu, but you have to deliver on it. And you guys do such a great job of that. You have a menu, but you got to deliver on it. So you've got the recipes and the checklists. Can you talk to the listeners out there about the importance of taking the time over these past 6 years, and even before that, of building checklists for everything?
Well, it's just, especially in the kitchen area, the cooks, even though you tell them certain things, if it's not written down and make them measure, everybody wants to put a little more of this or a little more of that, and then that messes with your consistency. So having that recipe and being able to see somebody putting something together like the dough recipe and see them measuring out how much goes into it versus just eyeballing it is a big deal. And if there's a checklist and you can just see, okay, it's out or it's not. And I'm constantly in the kitchen saying, are you measuring? And use a checklist, because they don't, everybody wants to put their little spin on stuff, and you just can't have that.
Now, one thing I really enjoy about working with you, Trisha, and Dave, is you're really, really wonderful people. And you guys aren't petty people. You're not, but petty means focusing on small things. You're not ignoramuses. You're not jerks. You're kind people. And so it's fun to help amplify your business and to see it grow. But growing a business, again, is like growing a garden. You have to pull weeds every week. And so every week I hop on the phone call with you at least once a week, sometimes twice a week, 3 times a week, or the website will go down, or there's a pricing increase or something will change. or when the COVID lockdowns happened, it was getting PPP funding, and there's just so many of these urgent things. I'd love to get your thoughts, Tricia, on what it's like to have our team available to help you in your times of need on a weekly basis. As you know, because a lot of people view growing a business as an event, where really it's a weekly process. Can you talk to listeners out there about the value of having a weekly support team that you can trust?
Yeah, I mean, like with our menu and stuff, especially after COVID, you never know when we're going to have to change something because we can't get a product anymore. Or like exactly today, we just found out that one of our wines is discontinued and no longer available. So that's just going to put a new change on the menu or onto the website as well. The website's gone down, and all of a sudden we get a notice from a customer that it's down, and now we even have like the beach cam on it, which is huge, which you guys helped us with. So that's got to be up and running, 24/7 as well. I think with COVID, when we were going through COVID, you were ahead of the game as far as everybody else. Like we still are getting stuff for ERC credits, which we have already done thanks to you guys being able to tell us, hey, you need to look into this. So I think your help in all those areas, like you said, on a weekly basis is kept us ahead of every little thing that's come our way, especially through COVID.
Now, Dave, I have a printer guy that I probably haven't talked enough about my printer guy, but I have a guy, if you're out there listening and you're in the Tulsa, Oklahoma area, I will give you my printer guy's number, Bud. But I have printers everywhere in my office, printers, flat screen TVs, and I've worked with the guy, I think, for 10 years. And every time a printer goes out or a TV goes out, I call him, he comes by and fixes it. And I can't tell you how rare that is to have a vendor that I actually am not fighting with every week, every month. I mean, this guy is on it. Could you talk, Dave, about that? Because we work together every week, and the relationship that you and I have, I think is very responsive, where if you have something, we knock it out, and it's sort of that win-win relationship. Can you talk, Dave, about the importance of having a team that you can trust to work with you? Because I know there's a lot of squirrely vendors out there.
Well, the biggest help with that is it's like we get an objective opinion on something. Like, you kind of know what you want to do on any given circumstances, but being able to pick up the phone and have access to your experience and your expertise and say, yeah, that's a good idea, or no, stay away from that because this is why you don't want to do it. And it's objective. So it's not somebody who's actually got a vested interest in what's going on, but we get an opinion really quick. And a lot of times we agree with it, and it just reaffirms that this is something you should do or shouldn't.
Now, Tricia, one of the things I did when I was growing my first company, DJConnection.com, is I had a company I hired for graphic design. And somehow, no matter what we talked about, it was always $4,000. And then I had a web guy, and every time I'd call my web guy, I don't know how, but it was always $400. Every time I talked to him, $400. 4,000 graphic design. Video guy, I don't know why it was, but it was always $3,000. And then they would never talk to each other. So my video guy, my web guy, my graphic design, and there was all these vendors, and I could never get any of them to communicate. And I always had these massive bills. How helpful is it for you doing the budgeting? I know you work together doing this, but how helpful is it for you knowing that it's going to be a flat rate every month? That's what it's going to cost.
Well, I think we've had those conversations before, with like the web and the printing, which we do live for at the restaurant, stuff like that. Just have one person, one place, have all of our information already, one-stop shop, instant response. We're constantly, I think since COVID, we've been talking about this a lot lately. Nobody really does their job anymore and follows up on what they're supposed to do. So we turn into being babysitters and making sure that people do their job. But we don't have that with everything that you guys do for us. We just know that we reach out to you whenever it needs to be done. Don't even worry about price. It's already, set in place, and make it happen and actually get it done and not have to babysit you.
Now,
it's huge. I don't spend on that.
My final two questions I have for you is, why should anybody out there who's in the Satellite Beach area, why should they come by Papa Gallo's and a Morning Glory? Why should they do it, Dave? Why should everybody come by at least once? I would argue people might want to plan a vacation just around the idea of coming to Morning Glory and Papa Gallo's. Why should people check it out?
I think the biggest thing is we're local. Papa Gallo's has been around for 33 years, Morning Glory going on 4. So we're part of the community. If you want to get an idea of what the community is like, some of the kids have grown up in our place working. So it's just a local place. It's a local taste of, Florida, really. Beach is right out back. You can look at the ocean and have a drink or have a pizza or eggs Benedict and look at the ocean. It's just a nice Florida experience.
And a lot of the comments we get with our staff is, you know, a lot of the people go to restaurants and such, but when they come to our restaurant, the staff is always happy and
Very
are there
friendly.
friendly, and are there to serve you, not just, oh, you're another customer, you're another table, you know, kind of do a shoddy little job and move on. You know, they really do care. And I think that comes from Dave, you know, caring about the food as much. It's gone on to the staff as well. And it shows through the customers' responses.
And I'm not asking for the number on the show. I'm not asking for a specific number, but since we've started working with you, I believe Papa Gallo's is 4 times larger. And I believe Morning Glory is about the same size as Papa Gallo's. Is that accurate?
Yeah. And like I said, sometimes it just drives me crazy because it took 33 years to get Papa Gallo's to that level. And Morning Glory sometimes beats it, and it just drives me bananas. But it's like I said, when we started with Morning Glory, we started with both feet in the right place and knew where we were going, where we spent a lot of years at Papa Gallo's trying to figure stuff out. And having you in our corner to just bounce ideas off of is a huge comfort and help.
Well, Dave, I really do appreciate you guys. And I would listen. My final question for you there, Tricia, for people out there that are thinking about coming to one of our workshops or thinking about hiring us for consulting, we only take on 160 clients. So I don't want to waste anybody's time out there who wouldn't be a good fit. And, you know, I want to respect everybody's time, but who would be a good fit in your mind for what we do?
I mean, pretty much anybody. I mean, you're not a niche, one type of, like a restaurant type of person to go to. You do with all of the businesses. So anybody that has a business that wants to grow their business, or even, you know, make it better and set up the systems and stuff like that, definitely don't even hesitate. Just give them a call.
Well, I appreciate you guys. Thank you so much for carving out time. And folks, if you're watching today, I want to encourage you. We've had the craziest last, 4 years, 3 years possible. It's never been more difficult to hire people. And Dave and Tricia have done it. They're very normal people. They're not holograms, but they're very abnormally diligent. And so if you're out there today and you're a diligent person, I want to encourage you that you too can have massive success. Thank you guys for carving out time, and we'll talk to you soon, okay?
Hi, I'm Dr. Mark Moore. I'm a pediatric dentist. Through our new digital marketing plan, we have seen a marked increase in the number of new patients that we're seeing every month, year over year. 1 month, for example, we went from 110 new patients the previous year to over 180 new patients in the same month. And overall, our average is running about 40 to 42% increase month over month, year over year. The group of people required to implement our new digital marketing plan is immense, starting with a business coach, videographers, photographers, web designers. Back when I graduated dental school in 1985, nobody advertised. The only marketing that was ethically allowed in everybody's eyes was mouth-to-mouth marketing. By choosing to use the services, you're choosing to use a proven turnkey marketing and coaching system that will grow your practice and get you the results that you're looking for. I went to the University of Oklahoma College of Dentistry, graduated in 1983, and then I did my pediatric dental residency at Baylor College of Dentistry from 1983 to 1985.
Clay Clark is here somewhere. Where's my buddy Clay? Clay's the greatest. I met his goats today. I met his dogs. I met his chickens. I saw his compound. He's like the greatest guy.
I ran from his goats, his chickens, his dogs.
So this guy's like the greatest marketer you've ever seen, right? His entire life, Clay Clark, his entire life is marketing.
Okay, Aaron Antis, March 6th and 7th. March 6th and 7th, guess who's coming to Tulsa, Jerusalem?
Ooh, Santa Claus?
No, that's March 6th and 7th.
Oh.
You're going to be joined by Robert Kiyosaki. Robert Kiyosaki. Best-selling author of Rich Dad, Poor Dad. Probably the best-selling, or one of the best-selling business authors of all time. And he's going to be joined with Eric Trump. He'll be joined by Eric Trump. So we got Eric Trump and Robert Kiyosaki in the same place. Aaron, why should everybody show up to hear Robert Kiyosaki?
Well, you got billions of dollars of business experience between those two, not to mention many, many, many millions of books have been sold. Many, many millionaires have been made from the books that have been sold by Robert Kiyosaki. I happen to be one of them. I learned from the man. He was the inspiration. That book was the inspiration for me to get the entrepreneurial spirit, as many other people.
Now, since you won't brag on yourself, I will. You've sold billions of dollars of houses. Am I correct?
That is true.
And the book that kickstarted it all for you,
Rich Dad, Poor Dad.
Rich Dad, Poor Dad, the author, the best-selling author of Rich Dad, Poor Dad, Robert Kiyosaki, the guy that kickstarted your career.
Yeah.
He's going to be here.
He's going to be here. I'm pumped.
And now Eric Trump, people don't know this, but the Trump organization has thousands of employees. There's not 50 employees. The Trump organization, again, most people don't know this, but the Trump organization has thousands of employees. And while Donald J. Trump was the 45th president of these United States and soon to be the 47th president of these United States, he needed someone to run the companies for him. And so the man that runs the Trump organization for Donald J. Trump, as he was the 45th president of the United States and now the 47th president of the United States, is Eric Trump. And so Eric Trump is here to talk about time management, promoting from within, marketing, branding, quality control, sales systems, workflow design, workflow mapping, how to build. I mean, everything that you see, the Trump hotels, the Trump golf courses, all their products, the man who manages billions of dollars of real estate and thousands of employees is here to teach us how to do it.
You are talking about one of the greatest brands on the planet from a business standpoint. I mean, who else has been able to create a brand like the Trump brand? I mean, look at it. And this is the man behind the business for the last pretty much since 2015. He's been the man behind it. So you're talking, we're into 9 going into 10 years of him running it, and we get to tap into that knowledge. That's going to be amazing.
Now, think about this for a second. Would you buy a ticket just to see Robert Kiyosaki and Eric Trump? Of course you would.
Of course you would.
But we're also going to be joined by Sean Baker. This is the best-selling author, the guy who invented the carnivore diet.
Oh, yeah.
Dr. Sean Baker. He's been on Joe Rogan multiple times. He's going to be joining us. So you've got Robert Kiyosaki, the best-selling author of Rich Dad, Poor Dad, Eric Trump, Sean Baker. The lineup continues to grow, and this is how we do our tickets here at the Thrivetime Show. If you want to get a VIP ticket, you can absolutely do it. It's $500 for a VIP ticket. We've always done it that way. Now, if you want to take a general admission ticket, it's $250 or whatever price you want to pay. And the reason why I do that, and the reason why we do that is because we want to make our events affordable for everybody. I grew up without money. I totally understand what it's like to be in a tight spot. So if you want to attend, it's $250 or whatever price you want to pay. That's how I do it. And it's $500 for a VIP ticket. Now, we only have limited seating here. With the most people we've ever had in this building was for the Jim Brewer presentation. Jim Brewer came here, the legendary comedian Jim Brewer came to Tulsa, and we had 419 people that were here. 419 people.
Yeah.
And I thought to myself, there's no more room. I felt kind of bad that a couple people had VIP seats in the men's restroom. Oh, no, I'm just kidding. But I thought, you know what? We should probably add on. So we're adding on what we call the upper deck, or the top shelf. So the seats are very close to the presenters, but we're actually building right now. We're adding on to the facility to make room to accommodate about another 30 attendees or more. So again, if you want to get tickets for this event, all you have to do is go to thrivetimeshow.com. Go to thrivetimeshow.com. When you go to thrivetimeshow.com, you'll go there, you'll request a ticket, boom. Or if you want to text me, if you want a little bit faster service, you say, I want you to call me right now. Just text my number. It's my cell phone number, my personal cell phone number. We'll keep that private between you, me, everybody. We'll keep that private. In anybody. Don't share that with anybody except for everybody. That's my private cell phone number. It's 918-851-0102. 918-851-0102. I know we have a lot of Spanish-speaking people that attend these conferences, and so to be bilingually sensitive, my cell phone number is 918-851-0102.
That is not actually bilingual. That's just saying Juan for a one. It's not the same thing.
I think you're attacking me. Now, let's talk about this. Now, what kind of stuff will you learn at the Thrivetime Show workshop? So, Aaron, you've been to many of these over the past 7-8 years. So let's talk about it. I'll tee up the thing, and then you tell me what you're going to learn here, okay?
Okay.
You're going to learn marketing and branding. What are we going to learn about marketing and branding?
Oh, yeah. We're going to dive into, so many people say, I got to get my brand known out there, like the Trump brand, right? You want to get that brand out there. It's like, how do I actually make people know what my business is and make it a household name? You're going to learn some intricacies of how you can do that.
You're going to learn sales. So many people struggle to sell something. This just in, your business will go to hell if you can't sell. So we're going to teach you sales. We're going to teach you search engine optimization, how to come up top in the search engine results. We're going to teach you how to manage people. Aaron, you have managed, no exaggeration, hundreds of people through throughout your career and thousands of contractors.
Oh, yeah.
And most people struggle with managing people. Why does everybody have to learn how to manage people?
Well, because first of all, you either have great people or you have people who suck. And so it can be a challenge. Learning how to work with a large group of people and get everybody pulling in the same direction can be a challenge. But if you have the right systems, you have the right processes, and you're really good at selecting great ones, and we have a process we teach about how to find great people. When you start with the people who have a great attitude, they're teachable, they're driven, all of those things, then, you can get those people all pulling in the same direction.
So we're going to teach you branding, marketing, sales, search engine optimization. We're going to teach you accounting. We're going to teach you personal finance, how to manage your finance. We're going to teach you time management. How do you manage your time? How do you get more done during a typical day? How do you build an organization if you're not organized? How do you do organization? How do you build an org chart? Everything that you need to know to start and grow a business will be taught during this 2-day interactive business workshop. Now, let me tell you how the format is set up here. And again, folks, this is a 2-day interactive 15. Think about this, folks. It's 2 days. Each day it starts at 7 a.m. and it goes until 5 p.m. So from 7 a.m. to 5 p.m., 2 days. It's a 2-day interactive workshop. The way we do it is we do a 30-minute teaching session, and then we break for 15 minutes for a question and answer session. So, Aaron, what kind of great stuff happens during that 15-minute question and answer session after every teaching session?
I actually think it's the best part about the workshops, because here's what happens. I've been to lots of these things over the years. I've paid many thousands of dollars to go to them. And you go in there and they talk in vague generalities, and they're constantly upselling you for something, trying to get you to buy this thing or that thing or this program or this membership. And you leave not getting your very specific questions answered about your business or your employees or what you're doing on your marketing. And what's awesome about this is we literally answer every single question that any person asks, and it's very specific to what your business is.
And what we do is we allow you as the attendee to write your questions on the whiteboard.
Yep.
And then we literally, as you mentioned, we answer every single question on the whiteboard. And then we take a 15-minute break to stretch and to make it entertaining when you're stretching. And this is a true story. When you get up and stretch, you'll be greeted by mariachis.
Sure.
There's going to probably be alpaca here, llamas, helicopter rides, a coffee bar, a snow cone. There's just...
You had a crocodile one time. That was pretty interesting.
I should write that down and actually do that.
Sorry for that one guy that we lost.
The crocodile, we duct taped its face so that we duct taped.
No, it was a baby crocodile.
And it was duct tape.
Yeah, duct tape around the mouth so it didn't bite anybody. But it was really cool passing that thing around and petting
I should do that. We have a small petting zoo that will be assembled. It's going to be great. And then you're in the company of hundreds of entrepreneurs. So there's not a lot of people in America today. In fact, there's less than 10 million people today, according to U.S. Debt Clock, that identify as being self-employed. So if you have a country with 350 million people, that means you have less than 3% of our population that's even self-employed. Yeah. So you only have 3 out of every 100 people in America that are self-employed to begin with. And when Inc. magazine reports that 96% of businesses fail by default, you have a 1 out of 1,000 chance of succeeding in the game of business. But yet the average client that you and I work with, we can typically double this. And this is no hyperbole, no exaggeration. And I have thousands of testimonials to back this up. We have thousands of testimonials to back it up. But when you work with a home builder, when I work with a business owner, we can typically double the size of the company within 24 months.
Yeah.
Double. And you say double? Yeah, there's businesses that we have tripled. There's businesses we've grown 8x. There's so many examples you can see at thrivetimeshow.com. But again, this is the most interactive, best business workshop on the planet. This is objectively the highest rated and most reviewed business workshop on the planet. And then you add to that Robert Kiyosaki, the best-selling author of Rich Dad, Poor Dad. You add to that Eric Trump, the man that runs the Trump Organization. You add to that Sean Baker. Now you might say, but Clay, is there more? I need more. Well, okay, Tom Wheelwright is the wealth strategist for Robert Kiyosaki. So people say, Robert Kiyosaki, who's his financial wealth advisor? Who's the guy who manages, who's his wealth strategist? His wealth strategist, Tom Wheelwright, will be here. And you say, Clay, I'm not going to get a ticket unless you give me more. Okay, fine. We're going to serve you the same meal both days. True story. We cater in the food, and because I keep it simple. I literally bring him the same food both days for lunch. It's Ted Escondido's, an incredible Mexican restaurant. That's going to happen. And Jill Donovan, our good friend, who is the founder of Rustic Cuff. She started that company in her home, and now she sells millions of dollars of apparel and products. That's rusticcuff.com. And someone says, I want more. This is not enough.
Give me more.
Okay. I'm not going to mention their names right now because I'm working on it behind the scenes here. But we've got one guy who's given me a verbal to be here. And this is a guy who's one of the wealthiest people in Oklahoma. And nobody really knows who he is because he's built systems that are very utilitarian, that offer a lot of value. He's made a lot of money in the, it's where you rent. It's short term. It's where you're renting storage spaces. He's a storage space guy. He owns the. What do you call that? The rental.
A storage space.
Storage units. This guy owns storage units. He owns railroad cars. He owns a lot of assets that make money on a daily basis, but they're not like customer facing. Most people don't know who owns the mini storage facility, or most people don't know who owns the warehouse that's passively making money. Most people don't know who owns the railroad cars, but this guy, he's given me a verbal that he will be here, and we just continue to add more and more success stories. So if you're out there today and you want to change your life, you want to give yourself an incredible gift, you want a life-changing experience, you want to learn how to start and grow a company, go to thrivetimeshow.com. Go there right now, thrivetimeshow.com. Request a ticket for the 2-day interactive event. Again, the day here is March 6th and 7th. March 6th and 7th, we just got confirmation. Robert Kiyosaki, best-selling author, Rich Dad, Poor Dad, he'll be here. Eric Trump, the man who leads the Trump Organization. It's going to be a blasty blast. There's no upsells. Aaron, I could not be more excited about this event.
I think it is incredible. And there's somebody out there right now, you're watching and you're like, but I already signed up for this incredible other program called Smoke Your Way to Thin. I think that's going to change your life. I promise you this will be 10 times better than that.
Looks like I picked the wrong week to quit smoking.
Now, don't do the Smoke Your Way to Thin conference. That is, I've tried it. Don't do it.
Yeah, chain smoking is not a viable. I mean, it is life changing. It is life changing. If you become a chain smoker, it is life changing.
Not the best weight loss program, though.
Right. Really. So if you're looking to have life changing results in a way that won't cause you to have a stoma, get your tickets at thrivetimeshow.com. Again, that's Aaron Antis. I'm Clay Clark, and reminding you and inviting you to come out to the 2-day interactive Thrive Time Show workshop right here in Tulsa, Oklahoma. I promise you it will be a life-changing experience. We can't wait to see you right here in Tulsa, Oklahoma.